Hello and welcome to the Corelli Collectibles review for the newest set of Palm Collection stuff from Unique Toys. And this is Blue Cat and Naughty, because these names are just getting weirder as we go. Now these two are representations of two more characters from the Japanese Headmasters series, Mindwipe and Brainstorm. Show them off with their respective faction buddies. And those who are familiar with the Headmaster series might notice that we're coming up on a bit of a problem here, which is that there were not an even number of characters in the Decepticon Headmasters and Autobot Headmasters groupings there. So we have yet to get to Highbrow, who's the helicopter, and there's not really someone for them to pair him with, because this was the spread. So it's possible that they're going to do like Apeface or Scorponok or Galvatron, or I don't really know, unless they're just going to sell the last one of these single pack or whatever. I don't really know how they're going to be moving forward from this, because they've run out of evenly paired even numbers to put out in 2-packs. So pretty excited to see what they do next, to be honest, because I love the Headmasters, and they could do one of a number of different characters for the Decepticon side, all of which I would be really happy to have in this size class. So kind of excited for them to reveal that, but have no idea what it's going to be at this point. Alright, in their alternate modes, obviously this guy is some kind of a spaceship jet thing, pretty typical for Brainstorm. He's always kind of an indiscriminate, futuristic Cybertronian jet thing. And Bat. Continuing the trend of alien robots being modeled after Earth species for some reason, because reasons. So yeah, he's a normal human Earth Bat from Cybertron, because that makes sense. But they both look pretty good. I mean, this whole series so far has had pretty solid design for both alt and robot modes, which is pretty impressive. Obviously this guy's a little bit chunky, and he does the thing that a lot of Brainstorm figures do, where his arms either just chill down to his sides or roll up onto his back, or some combination of them. So not the most imaginative or original representation of his animal form, but I don't really know how. I mean, it's kind of like a swoop. There's only so many different ways you can pull off that transformation and have the robot mode look even halfway like it's supposed to. So I think they did a good job, especially for it being this size and a Headmaster and all that stuff. So very impressed with both of these. But even though it is still pretty simple, the actual transformation on this is a lot more enjoyable in terms of just how parts move around. It's pretty cool. So just for a more general size comparison, here they are next to, we'll throw in a robot mode there too, just for size variance, some Titans Returns Legends. So, I mean, they're pretty much in the Legends scale. They're, I suppose, a little bit larger in some cases, but they fit right into this general size class. So for transformation, I'm going to start with Little Mindwipe here. Actually, yeah, I'll do all the Headmasters later. So his cockpit is actually up here under his head. So there's a little compartment that this guy chills in, like so. Can't believe I just dropped him in there perfectly. That was totally unplanned. So you have your little Headmaster, and we'll take a look at all those guys in a little bit. His gun can store back here on the wing using this little peg hole, and you can throw it into your own face. I don't think there's really anywhere else on here that you can put this, but you can stick it in any number of directions. Like, you can put it down and then it's not visible, and really depends upon how you want to display it. I kind of actually like seeing it sticking up over there for some reason, even though it's not screen accurate to anything, so obviously you can do as you wish. And then you want to pull these out, but straighten them at the knees. Don't try to force them past this part. We'll be dealing with that later. Then you want to unpeg the arms, which peg into the sides of the legs right there. And then just for ease, I usually just try to point these wings up a little bit just to get them out of the way. And then what you're going to be doing here is parting the legs enough that you can scoot them around this little butt flap. And then you can just kind of scoot that back. And that allows you to put the legs into a normal standing position, which you can then fold. And I usually give him a little bit of pre-tilted ankle. Then you just want to spin the arm while you're also folding this thing up, which reveals the fist that was hidden. Like so. And then you just want to take this bat head, which is on a ball joint, and spin that around, and that's going to tuck up inside the back of the figure. And then these, I don't know how well you can see it, but there's a natural stopping point that these wings will collapse down to. So for his animal mode, because they peg into the back, these things are like this. And then you want to basically collapse these down and then scoot these up like this. So after you do that, it'll end up looking like this, and it'll look like that from the front. And obviously after that you can kind of put those however you want. And then all that is left is to just kind of pop that up onto the back and give him his gun. And you are all set. And that is his transector in its robot mode. And his little headmaster pilot to drive it. Now for Brainstorm here, things are also pretty simple. I'm just going to collapse those and unpeg them. Set those off to the side for now. And I guess it's easiest to pull his little headmaster guy out. And then, the easiest way to start with this is to pull this little thing out from the back. This is on several different joints. And then you are going to want to disconnect that right there. Just fold that up. And then these are going to pop that into go like this, and then you want to take this whole shin part, and that actually rotates around on both legs. And find the front of the crotch, rotate that forward, rotate both the legs forward, and then you are just tucking this stuff back under the legs so they form little feet. And then this whole cockpit area is actually going to rotate up into the chest, like so, and then this will fold up and this will fold down. And then these, you want to unpeg the hands, like so, and then those fold in and around, and then these little wings flatten down to the sides. And there you have Brainstorm's transector. And you also kind of want to unpeg these little wings, peg into the back there for stability. Like so. And you can give him his little weapons. Fortunately, there's not really any way to like attach them to the back or anything, so you can't do any of that stuff. Sorry, IDW fans. These are very much kind of modeled after the Japanese character designs in the TV show, except for Hardhead, who's weirdly got his faceplate, even though he didn't have that in the show, so who knows. And there's him. So here are all of the currently released Palm Collection Headmasters, all lined up. I'm a pretty big fan of Headmasters in general, so I was kind of bound to love these, but I really love these. I think they're coming along really well. They just look really fantastic. And here they are with all of their heads attached. So again, really looking fantastic. And just for some size comparison, here they are with the Titans Returns Legion Rewind. Or Legends, whatever. Tiny one. So, really about the same size. I mean, not really any difference enough to speak of. So the articulation on these figures is pretty excellent. Got ball jointed arms that can go around, ball jointed elbows. You have a little bit of wrist action there because of the transformation, I guess. This guy does not have any kind of... Oh wait. Yeah, he does. My mistake. You just have to move this thing in the back, and then you can access waist rotation. He has ball jointed hips, ball jointed knees with about, let's say, 90 degrees, solid 90. He has toe articulation and ankle tilt. They do not have any head articulation, obviously, because of the way that this squares into a hole. But all in all, pretty poseable. This guy's pretty much the same thing. He's got a little bit of wing kibble on his back shoulder, I guess that would be. But he actually is less limited. These wings, sorry, I'm not really trying to make them stand right now. These wings do kind of limit, even if you pull them up, do limit the range of this joint. Whereas Brainstorm's wing things really don't create any kind of limitation at all. So they look like they would be cumbersome, but that doesn't really matter. Pretty much everything's sticking off to the side, and this little tab that pegs in has more than enough clearance to go around and not smash into anything, so that's cool. And ball jointed elbows, basically the same kind of transformation wrist action. Access to the waist rotation without having to move anything. Ball jointed hips, which are, I wouldn't say like limited, but you can't really get much forward motion without trying to kind of squeeze it past there. It's a little bit tight in that regard. It goes out fine, but it doesn't really love turning so much. And again, it's very light, but it's just kind of rubbing up against this up there. It's like a tiny little clearance issue, but you can still get the pose. It just kind of feels like you're forcing it a little bit right here in this range. But I don't think that's going to actually cause any long-term problems or anything, and it'll eventually wear down enough that it doesn't feel like that anymore, so no biggie. Very, very good knee bend because of the transformation. You have this, and you have this. He does not have ankle tilts. I believe he is the only... No, he is the second one, because this guy also did not have ankle tilt. But you could just kind of pull his legs out and have them sit flat, which is basically what you have to do with this guy. I guess they just couldn't figure out a way to make ankle tilt work with all of that engineering, and I understand that, so not going to fault them there. But. So all in all, it should be pretty obvious by now that I am definitely recommending these figures. I'm recommending the entire Palm Collection line by Unique Toys because it is blowing it out of the park as far as I'm concerned. Or out of the water? hitting it out of the park, blowing it out of the park, hitting it out of the water, whatever. It's doing it. Like I've said before, I really just like Headmasters, so I was bound to like these in general, but they have done a really superb job at them. I feel like these are, I mean, obviously there's a size difference and a complexity difference, but these to me are on par with the Fans Project Function X Headmasters. That's how much I enjoy these just as much. They're a different thing, but I think they're both fantastic and well done, so I'm happy to have both third-party representations in my collection, and especially for the price. I mean, these things are like under $50 for each 2-pack, so I mean, that's like a steal in my opinion. Normally trying to buy third-party Legend scale Transformers is you're spending more money and you're not getting quite as much play value as I think these offer. So I recommend these. I picked them up at Big Bad Toy Store. There's a link down in my description if you would like to do that as well. I believe the last time I looked, they had the whole stock, all 3 groups, still in stock. So hopefully that is still the case when you go to look for them, because these are fantastic, and if you don't have them already, you should really consider adding them to your collection.